Chip, how did the scoring system work today? What do the offense need to do to get a point there?
It's set up depending on the drill, to be honest with you. So obviously in 3-on-2 it's a lot easier for the offense. So depending on how you do it, the offense can gain 1 point, defense can gain 2. If it's third and short, the offense gets only a point, but the defense gets more for a stop. If it's third and long, I've had the system for a while, so it's just a way to make practice real a little bit more competitive and try to even out the balance. So sometimes it's a 1-to-2 ratio, sometimes it's a 1-to-3 ratio. So
is this the first time you've done that here?
We did it here, yeah, because we haven't been in pads, and we didn't do any of it in the OTAs because it's tough to judge when you don't have any pads on. You know what I mean? So, and again, we're still in most situations. We were thudding up in the first team period, but tagging out from the last ones. But you can make a good judgment call on whether they were going to make the play or not make the play. So.
I feel like you guys get
What's that? We're tackling now in the first play. We're just not taking them to the ground. So those guys are thudding them up, putting them up. So.
Will you tackle to the ground at some point, or is that something going to wait for the games?
We got 4 preseason games for that. But they're hitting pretty good in when they get an opportunity. So, and the big thing with tackling is you want to be on your feet anyway. You don't want people diving. You want to be good form tackles. If they get an opportunity in the hole to butt them up, then in that first team period we do every day, we're going to be doing that. So.
Do you choose not to tackle to the ground because of the injury?
Yeah, and when you get guys on the ground, it's not really the 2 guys that get tackled. It's what's chasing them. And I think we're trying to keep everybody in every situation up. Obviously, if I'm blocking my guy and I'm trying to finish to the whistle, but then 2 guys in front of me fell, that's where the biggest thing occurs. It's the pile-ups. It's not really, most of the times, it's not the tackle or the tackler. It's the rest of the guys coming through. And you get a lot of big bodies moving. There's a fine line of what we have to get done from a rope standpoint, but we also know that we got to get our guys to the game too. So it's a dance. Everybody's got to dance, but you want to make sure you get enough physicality in there in practice. And I think our guys are doing a good job right now, and they understand it. Our guys are being real competitive with each other, but they also know there's got to be a little bit of cooperation that goes on.
Chip, you've obviously dealt with a lot of injuries over your career and then season-ending ones as well. What's your kind of reaction, and how do you approach injuries when you have one like Jeremy had, a guy you thought would be a starter and it's a season ender? How do you approach that right off the bat?
I think the first one's just a natural human reaction and sadness. You look at how much Jeremy's put into this and how much everybody on his team cares about him. He's a guy that's here every single day. Football's his life, and it's a hard thing, and it's tough. I'm a big guy that asks the question why all the time, like why do we do this, why do we do that? And in most situations you get a rational answer, and then when a guy has a non-contact injury, just plants his foot in the ground, and it's kind of tough to rationalize. That's hard, and it's hard to put into words for him, and you feel for him because you could see when I was standing over him when he was out on the ground. He had gone through it before, and I think he knew, before they gave him any tests. I think Jeremy knew in his mind what it was, and I think that was the range of emotion. So again, it's sadness, but then when you get back, you just got the reality of it is you got to get ready with the guys that are able to play and that are healthy to play. And so it's kind of like someone dropped their shield in battle, and the other guy's got to pick it up and take up the slack for them. So as a staff, we talk about who else do we have right now. Obviously, you'd love to add guys, but I think with the numbers right now, you're not allowed to add. We were at 89, that's why we added one more. So you're kind of bound with what you got right now. So.
What has Riley Cooper shown you these last couple days of practice?
I mean, it's not, our evaluation of Riley isn't, all of a sudden Mac's not here, so let's start looking at what Riley's doing. I've been watching Riley since I got here in January, so he's a big physical player, and I think one of the attributes he has is that his size is a weapon for him. Catches the ball really well. He's an outstanding blocker. He's a real technician in terms of what he wants to get done. He's another guy that lives and breathes football and is here all the time. So, I think it's an opportunity for him to kind of step up in even a more expanded role. But it wasn't like he wasn't going to have a big role in our offense anyways. I've been impressed with Riley since the day I got here.